donations by government entities, charitable foundations, and philanthropists. But ladies and gentlemen, as we look at the issue of giving and donations, I'd like to bring your attention to something that just happened a few weeks ago, and we all saw the injustice that happened to this young black African American male. And it was a situation where I'm sure it touched all of us, what happened to him. And the results, as you can see in many cases, were mass protests and riots, or whatever you want to call them. It touched us all. And it hopefully it gave us an opportunity to begin to search within. You see, racial injustice is just one facet of injustice. Discrimination, excuse me. There are all other forms. There's many other forms of discrimination and injustice that happens to us throughout our lives. Sex discrimination, age discrimination, you name it, and there is some type of discrimination that's going on where one is expected a sense of equality but is not getting it. So yes, this situation happened to this gentleman out in the streets of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we do want to do something to help this situation. But what I'm saying is that the help is already there in your heart if you felt something. You see, when you stand up for injustice, it doesn't have to be on the picket line or on the protest lines. It could be the injustice that sits in your job market, where you work, where you see injustice going on. It can be injustice with regards to how we carry ourselves within letting other people know that it's important and why it's important to vote and get out and let our votes be heard. The most example that I can use, the best example that I can use, is that of Greater Detroit Community Outreach Center and myself personally. For 40 years in the city of Detroit, we battled the issue of preventing teen parenthood among our school-age youth. But the real battle, 40 years, we knew what the real battle was. And the real battle was in those boardrooms of those foundations who make donations to various programs. The real battle is in the government that takes our taxes and funnels them in to help the poor, when all the time there are prevention programs designed to prevent that. Programs designed to prevent those processes that create the poor. You see, ladies and gentlemen, although we are fighting the issue personally of preventing teen parenthood, the real issue is not white. It's not black. It's green. It's green, where monies are being funneled to help those in need, and at the same time they inadvertently shift the direction of preventing the program, those in need, to service. And in order to get to service, they direct attention in that direction, and more specifically, they direct the monies in that direction, service. So we never really get to prevention because we're too busy dealing with service. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's an injustice to those who we're giving, first of all, to those who we're giving the monies to. But more importantly, the injustice deals with the fact is, how is it can we have these prevention programs like Greater Detroit and others, and they don't get attention when we continuously funnel that money towards service, and that funnels our direction of giving to situations where nothing gets done. You see, ladies and gentlemen, there's injustice, and we have to fight that injustice in our own way, right now. We have to use this opportunity that was given to us, although tragic, but it forces us to look within. On your job, what is it? Is it redlining, and you're working for an insurance company that's redlining and you know about it, and you have the opportunity to sit down and work with those elements or people designed to try to make this more equitable and equal? Are you that person who sits around and you know there's people walking around on the streets and that you know that won't vote, and you can walk up to them and talk to them and give them some insight as to why they should vote? We can go on and on about the injustices that are done to us. But it's when you stand up and when you fight for what's right, you put yourself in a position where you say, well, yes, this happened to this gentleman. And you feel for it, and you do what you can. But most importantly, I'm going to deal with this injustice that I know, and I'm going to deal with that now. This injustice that I'm dealing with. You see? And once you do that, you put yourself, you go to bed at night. Yes, you say a prayer for this gentleman who was killed in Minneapolis, but you keep your direction on the injustice that you're dealing with, fighting the battle of injustice from where you are now, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is Creighton Rippey. I'm the director of the Greater Detroit Community Outreach Center here in Detroit, Michigan. You can reach us at 313-891-7030, or you can reach us on the World Wide Web at greaterdetroitoutreach.org. Thank you for looking in.